Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Slice of Gaming podcast. Thank you for giving us a slice of your time. Today, we got a pretty decent news week. Some things happened here and there, but joining me today, I got to talk about my co host, Bench.
Hello, good news happened this week. News that pertains to me.
I'll make sure to skip over it. And also, joining us today is a man who's currently on the run for some illegal activity, so he'll only be joining us for an hour. Otherwise, until maybe we just finish in that hour, who knows? Jack.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, so it's hard being on the lam, but I gotta make time for the podcast.
Hey, I respect it, man. You've been emulating a little too much. That's all. That's what I've heard. Currently recording it from your car. Just let me know beforehand before the cops start chasing after you. Then we'll know. Anyways, if you want to find us, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere the podcasts are found. Like the podcast, follow us on Twitter. But let's just get right into it. We had a pretty decent news week. We're actually going to start with the reviews of the week. I think this would just be interesting because there were actually a good amount of reviews, and two of them pertain to news stories that pretty interesting to say the least. The first big review of the week we got to get into is Star Wars Outlaws, Ubisoft's big game for the year, or at least one of their big games. They still got Assassin's Creed Shadow in a couple months. Game came out and it debuted at a 77 on OpenCritic. IGN gave it a 7. Big shocker. I think they've given every big game a 7 at this point. Hobby Consoles gave it an 88 out of 100. That seems to be the highest score from what I can see of the OpenCritic reviews. I saw a few 9 out of 10s from some places. GameSpot wasn't able to get the review out when the embargo hit, interestingly enough, because the embargo was literally, they got the game and then it was a week later the embargo hit. So there was not a lot of time there. And they're not on OpenCritic, but kind of funny. Greg Miller, someone who loves Ubisoft games, gave this game a 4 out of 10. So that pertains to just the level of quality we're dealing with now. Also, there was a lot of people that really loved the game, that like these type of games. Very hotly debated topic. There was a very funny news story that I just want to mention real quick about save data, where if you buy the game early for $100, your save data just doesn't exist. It, weirdly enough, how do I say it? They basically, if you were playing the game early, they put out an update that deleted your save data. Or at the very least, like, you could not continue that save data because it was effectively corrupted. So God bless Ubisoft for that one.
Yep, you love their game. Play it again.
Jet, did you get affected by that?
No, thankfully not. And so yeah, I guess I'll talk about like a little bit of my playtime with it.
Yeah,
Because,
Jet's been playing the game right now. So Jet, what do you think?
I don't like it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
I was still like I'm still very like early into it, but yeah, from my experience, it's not even the glitches. It's just the stealth missions where I'm trying to do them and like this is I think maybe the third or fourth mission. Like it's right after you go to right after you leave the planet you're on. Like you go to the second planet, and then you have to do this like first stealth mission, and I don't know. I'm just maybe it's just me being like like a bit impatient where I can't properly do this level, but like I don't like the stealth combat in this because there's not enough freedom. Like all those useless collectibles that you can get in like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, all these
Yeah.
Ubisoft
Yeah, the
games.
feathers.
Yeah, the feathers. Maybe you could make some of those collectibles useful. Like, let me throw them at enemies. No. You can only KO them, and you can't even drag their bodies. Like I'm pretty sure you can do that in Assassin's Creed 2 as well, where like you can put them in the haze. But
Is it
in
basically
this,
just like Uncharted stealth, where like it's pretty bare bones for what it is?
yeah, but at least Uncharted somehow feels more satisfying than even this
Yeah.
one. Yeah, but yeah, and then once you get caught, nope, that's it. You're done. Restart the level, and at first, I didn't mind it if the levels were short enough that I'm like, sure, okay, I'll get by this. This would be easy, not a big deal. But no. Some of these go on a while, and it just ends up being more annoying than anything, and at that point, I just start to lose interest in the game.
So it basically has insta fail stealth missions. The moment you get caught, back to the checkpoint you go.
Yeah, exactly. And like I was about to stealthily, KO like one of the enemies, but no, they caught me like a millisecond before, and they're like, "All right, you failed the mission." I'm like, God
Yeah,
damn it,
that's
yeah.
insane.
But
I
yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead.
sorry, go.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't like thankfully gone any like crazy glitches. Like I think the ones I see, which for me are pretty typical in Ubisoft games, where like if you're climbing a ladder, and then sometimes like for a brief second the ladder animation still keeps on while you're up, like when you reach the top.
Oh, like a,
But
a glitch, basically, like visually.
yeah, visually. But yeah, other than that, there weren't like too many weird glitches on my end. Yeah, but like sometimes the graphics resolution would change because I'm on performance mode, uh, and you can tell the textures in some parts just don't look good with the resolution like just dynamically changing.
Yeah, so it basically sounds like. Do you think this game was rushed? Like, it kind of sounds a lot like that.
I think so, and I mean there's no like proof of this, but my guess is I think it wasn't maybe Ubisoft or it totally could have been, but like maybe Disney wanted to get this out sooner because they had a Star Wars show that launched fairly recently, and they just wanted to make sure like right after that they get a Star Wars game just to keep Star Wars like top of mind for users, and because of how ambitious this game is, they realized that they can't actually fix this game in time.
That is such a weird choice because it's like I feel like there's a Star Wars thing happening every 5 seconds at this point. So I don't know why you needed to launch it near. I think it was the Acolyte you're talking about, which by the
Yeah.
way got canceled. So that just didn't work out as well. it it feels like one of those decisions that was made like maybe at the beginning of this year. Like they wanted to try to hit a date that made sense for launching it nearby a big Star Wars thing. And then by the time they got to the launch, it's like this isn't going to work, but we already basically solidified this release date, all the marketing materials out, and let's just stick with it. And it doesn't seem like it's working out, at least from a like quality of the game standpoint. I do wonder how this game is going to sell. I don't know whether or not people are Star Wars fatigued, or maybe it's one of those things where it doesn't matter. It's going to sell just because the IP is so strong. And there's a lot of people again like that do genuinely enjoy the game. The idea of insta fail stealth missions in 2024 where your game is majority stealth is psychotic to me. I don't understand
Yeah.
how that's a strategy that makes any sense. Even hit like actual pure stealth games like Hitman don't do insta fail stealth. So
No,
I don't know why they thought that was a good idea.
yeah, even Ubisoft's like older Assassin's Creed games have really good stealth. Like those ones, it was like around the early 2010s where we got really good stealth with that, and like Batman Arkham. Those were like setting the stage for like, yeah, this is how the stealth should be. And and then even I played a bit of like Watch Dogs 2. That also had like some really cool, hacking missions where you can play around with stuff. You can use the cameras to hack shit to distract enemies. Star Wars is very much about that tech innovation, right? Like in their movies, shows, they could have done something with that too.
No, it just sounds like one of those things where maybe they had other ideas for stealth, but like by the time they realized they couldn't get them in, they already had the stealth missions programmed. Did you notice the AI being terrible? Like I
Oh,
heard that complaint a lot.
oh yeah, yeah, in some parts. I mean, this hasn't happened to me yet, but like when I knock down a body, I mean, typically enemies will notice that body, and you'll be like alerted. It gets more intense. Nah, no, they don't care. There's just a
Ah,
body lying
jeez.
around.
Yeah, really rough. I knew a lot of people were anticipating it. I don't care personally, but like, hey, I feel bad. I don't want games to do bad. And again, it's not like the game is fully considered a bad game. It's just surprisingly a lot lower than I was expecting. And not necessarily like open critic wise, that's fine. Mostly, I mean, from like someone like a Greg Miller, people that love these type of Ubisoft games. And Jad, you're someone who's a big fan of Ubisoft games. And just for it to be like, yeah, this isn't good. I did not enjoy this game at all. It's a little frustrating, I guess, if you're a big Ubisoft fan. You wanted a good Star Wars game. I know Bop was
Yeah, he
literally
was touting.
The podcast last week, he was really like, guys, you don't understand. This is gonna be big. Listen, Bob. He said that about Starfield too. I'm starting to think, don't get excited for the same game as Bob. That's all I'm saying.
There's a curse.
Yeah, and it could also be AAA games taking place in space. A bit sus.
Yeah, really. The sci-fi freaks are in fucking shambles. God bless.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah, I mean,
sorry,
I think
Bob,
we all
did you
did.
add in?
I think we all kind of thought Outlaws would be at least like pretty good because it had a lot of promise. So it is just, even as someone who wouldn't have maybe played it day one for sure, like it is a little disappointing because now I'm just like never gonna play that game.
Yeah, and I feel like because there's still more issues aside from like the glitches, like the core gameplay of it's still like unfixable. Like even with Jedi Survivor, like I still waited a couple months for them to patch, but like that was still a really solid experience
Mhm.
because of how fun like the combat is and everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, this is not a game I was gonna play, but I definitely am with you, Bench. I agree that I think I going into it, I thought most people would have enjoyed this game, and like, there are people enjoying it, but not to the extent that I was really thinking it was gonna be
Mhm.
lauded, I guess. But hey, I mean, listen, this seems like a good like Black Friday pickup, or buy it a year later for $20 when all the bugs are
Yep.
patched and whatnot.
And like get the season pass with it for like $5 or whatever, and just do it.
Yeah,
There.
and I guess that's like one thing I'm hoping for because this happens sometimes where like there's that Ubisoft like that one expansion that's like ends up being really good. Like for the Watch Dogs Legion, they brought back Aiden from Watch Dogs 1 and people really like that. So like I'm hoping something like that happens.
Well, for our next game that also got released this week, we got Visions of Mana. There's a new story pertaining to them that I'll just go ahead and rope into the review roundup. We're looking at a 77 on OpenCritic, which is around, I think, what most of us predicted. IGN gave it an 8. GameSpot gave it a 5 out of 10. Not 5 out of 5, 5 out of 10. And then I see a lot of other 8s, 65 out of 100. Wait, why would you do a 100-point scale? Can I actually be real with you guys? That is the stupidest thing ever. Like,
Yeah.
why? Anyways, yeah, Visions of Mana. It seems to be looking at around the 7 range, which I think that's what I was looking at, expecting it to kind of sit at. Bench, I know you've been playing it.
I've
You
been playing it,
agree
yeah.
with that?
I'd say yeah, 7. I could see it going into like an 8 for me, but like it's had a very slow start in those first 2 hours, and it's slowly opening up. And I'm like, the more I play, I'm enjoying it more. It just opened very slowly, but like the exploration is fun. I mean, it's a very pretty game. The graphics and art style is like kind of out of this world, but it's definitely like it's not like blowing me out of the water. But it's something I'm glad I'm playing. Which like, yeah, if you bring up the other news story, I do have some stuff to say on that.
Yeah, I could just bring that up real quick. Wario64 has this. Oka Studios, the Visions of Mana developer, reportedly has all but a handful of jobs cut by NetEase. Few staff remain to oversee rollout of its final games before the studio shut down. NetEase said it had nothing to announce about Oka's potential closure, and this was the day the game came out. So
Yeah.
we're getting like a little close to the fucking tooth when it comes to these studio closures. Now you can't even release the game without being shut down. It's depressing.
Yeah, this sucks because especially while playing Visions of Mana, while I'm enjoying it, and the more I play it, like I said, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna see this game through to the end, and it could be like in my top 10 this year, probably lower. But like, if this team had like another shot on building on what they did, I think it could have been something really special in that like 9 range, and they're just never gonna get that opportunity. And just thinking about that's disappointing.
Yeah, this is one of those things like I would have loved to see what a sequel to this would have been. If this is a 7, maybe like the next game is even better and they're able to build upon a lot of the ideas that they originally had with this game. And also this is a revival of a franchise that has been dead and dormant for a long time. So the idea that effectively it's going to be back into hibernation yet again, it's a little sad to say the least. But
Part of
hey,
me
sorry, go.
Part of me hopes maybe if this is a sales success for what it is, because like it's not like a huge budget, and you can kind of see the things they like put more budget into and the things they didn't. But like if they see like some success in building on it, maybe Square Enix like spins up a smaller team with some of these people and they just bring the next game in house. Because it's not like Square Enix has been remastering a lot of these Mana games, and it's like they've been kind of building into this next one. So are they just gonna like not do that anymore? So I kind of hope maybe Square can take a lot of them under their wing, which I don't know compared to like what Square's situation is right now, and them like scaling things down for like projects like this, what that'll look like. But hopefully, if it's a success, they maybe see the need to do that. Because it'd suck if they just all like lose and we never get a Mana game for another 15 years.
I feel like it's gonna be that case. I don't know who else within Square Enix is gonna really like champion bringing back the Mana series yet again.
Well, I mean, just like
And I
Square
don't know.
hire these people.
Oh, I mean, I could see that. It's a rough industry, though. I think Square and like a lot of other Japanese devs are a lot more willing to hire at this point than a lot of Western devs. So yeah, I could see them try to like take a lot of them into in-house and maybe work on other stuff within the company. I do think like we saw that recent Square Enix report about like wanting to scale down the number of games
Yeah.
they release with. That tells me that Square is 100% just not going to go for stuff like Visions of Mana moving forward. Maybe like some random small thing here and there, but like you're going to see a lot more Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest and Kingdom Hearts. Like they're going to focus on their big IP
Well,
rather than really trying to get to stuff like Mana up in the mainstream.
Well, they said they wanted to give some of their franchises that AAA budget to kind of like set them aside with some of those things, and that's kind of what Visions of Mana is. I wouldn't say it's got like a Final Fantasy budget, but it definitely does have a budget where I think it's like, yeah, this is a AAA game. So that's why part of me is like, maybe that was part of this initiative to kind of like pick some things and then other things don't make it.
Yeah, I hope for the best for the developers. They can land on their feet.
Mhm.
Hopefully, get some good games going. I don't. Jet, do you have much interest in Visions? Because I can't say I personally do.
You'd
Yeah,
not
so-
like it, Wolf.
I'd what?
You, in the first 2 hours, would uninstall.
Why do you say that?
Gameplay is very simple and for the first like 2.5 hours, and it's just talky for the most part, and not much going on.
Okay, and that's kind of what I expected. Jet, what about you?
Yeah, so yeah, the Mana series hadn't like really intrigued me, but I did want like I guess a newer one to start with. So I wasn't sure if I would want to go with this one or that remake that came out, Trials of Mana.
Everything I've seen, I think Trials is probably your play because everyone's pretty high on that version.
Yeah, and then and, and like I was looking at the other games like I feel like there's a lot, but there's really only like five like mainline Mana games, and one of them is stuck on the Vita, Adventures of Mana. Like they haven't brought that outside of it.
I think that one's not good, so I don't think you're missing out. So I mean, I think the real ones that people like focus on is stuff like Secret of Mana and Trials. Like those are the two that people really love. And then outside of that, it's like 50-50 if the game's going to be that much enjoyable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sorry, did you have anything else to say, or are we good to go?
We're good to go.
All right, cool. So we got one more review of the week. Jet, this is a game I know you're actually personally very excited for. Emio, the Smiling Man, Famicom Detective Club. We're looking at a 79 on OpenCritic. Lots of 8s and 7s across the board. Visual novel. We had that really cool tease last month to reveal. And some people lost interest. Some people got more interested. Jet, I know you love your visual novels. How this get you more excited? Are you in?
Yes, so I'm in, and actually, one of my close friends, he's been playing through the game, and he's been wanting me to start getting into the Famicom like Detective Club games, and and like the gameplay looks really cool, where it's very much similar to like how Ace Attorney investigations are, and just like that bit of like the point and click and finding that whole story. And from what I've heard from him, he told me that like the Emil story is like his favorite one from the three games because of like the twists and everything that they added to this one.
Yeah, it looks really interesting. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the biggest visual novel guy, but I enjoy a good one from here and there. And this one, I think, might be one I try to jump in on maybe later on down the Switch life cycle when maybe they start actually
sales on games, if ever.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know. It's just like it's a really busy and hectic schedule right now, so it's kind of hard to like justify like jumping into something that I don't know if I'll enjoy or not. But the Famicom Detective Club games, there's a very like small but very dedicated fan base for them, and I'm very happy that they got a new game after all these years.
Yeah, it's definitely something like lead up to this game. I was interested, but then I looked at like the first two, and it's like full price, and it's like okay, I can wait.
100%.
Yeah. The way Nintendo just randomly dropped this though was so funny. Like without giving us any context, they're like, "Who's Emil?" Find out
It's a
soon.
really cool moment, like just a week of like speculation, and a lot of people were real disappointed when it was a visual novel. Speaking of Nintendo, we recently just got our Nintendo Partner Direct and Indie Roundup. There's a lot of stuff, not just in this direct, but mostly like kind of surrounding it that I really want to get into. So that's why we got Jad on. He's the Nintendo guy. He's the expert in this field.
Oh,
He's
let's
the guy
go.
that hypes up with us.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. How are you guys feeling? What would you guys rate this? Like, someone referred to it, and I love this. It is the combination Taco Bell Pizza Hut of presentations, where we've never seen Nintendo go ahead and like combine two different of their direct brands together. So
And I think
really
there's a reason they're
interesting
doing
stuff.
that.
Oh, we'll get into that later. We'll get into that after yapping about what we like and
Mhm.
don't like. But just overall scores, how we feeling about this thing?
I think this is the best direct ever. I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
No specific reason, but like, can't believe Trails in the Sky remake. Am I right? Like, oh, like I just didn't expect this, and it seems to be like a worldwide release, and it looks fantastic. Like a very great art style. It's just I will talk about some of the information surrounding the game is kind of like getting me a little worried, but it's still like it's just such. I'm happy that it was finally confirmed and it's next year, and I just like very very excited. And like yeah, some of the information is like we'll remake the rest if it sells well, which I do think this one's gonna sell well because I'm seeing like a lot of just activity on like social media on people that are very interested in getting into the series, and this is like the one where we can finally say start here. It is the beginning, so I think that's going to make it sell very well to get people in, and then hopefully they remake SC at least because after that ending, it's like you at least have to remake that, but hopefully they just do the whole trilogy. And then there's on top of that, there's like they're said they're doing new voice actors, but they haven't even like started that yet. And Falcom wants to like self-publish, and they've never really done that before in the West. So just like very weird messaging that gets me a little worried. I'm not sure how far along this is, and they said it's next year. But like just hype wise, it's like it looks fantastic, easily the best the series has ever looked. And I'm also glad it has like a different art style compared to like the upcoming Kai. So they kind of like are different from each other, and you can tell it apart. So I'm very excited. Highly recommend everyone check this out.
Wonder what his highlight was, guys.
Yeah,
He's gonna say some shit like Mario Party. Wasn't even there.
game of the year.
Okay, well, he gave his 10 out of 10 rating. Jat, you go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So for me, I'm this is kind of like about the Nintendo Directs. Is like sometimes we get those like really goofy left field announcements, and so yeah, for me, this I'd say is a 7.5. And I mean, like there were definitely a good few games that I'm excited for that we already knew about. Like I definitely want to check out the Epic Mickey remake, and then Marvel versus Capcom is back, right? Like that looks really fun, and I'm glad we got a release date, even though it's like a few months between or a couple months between the digital and the physical, which is interesting whenever they do that.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
definitely something you're gonna start getting used to.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially if they
Especially
announce
with
it
like
like
limited run and shit.
yeah, exactly. And I think especially if they announce it like so close to when it's gonna come out that like I think retailers usually need like a month or something to get those copies in. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. And so yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, one that really surprised me. Like I didn't watch it live, but like I went back and saw the announcements. I'm like, what do you mean there is a Shrek crossover with Power Wash Simulator?
Oh my god, dude. I'm so fucking excited. My two favorite things coming together.
Yeah, yeah. And and one thing I am now gonna hop back into, I think my poker addiction's gonna go back in with Balatro, playing with the Among Us cards and the Witcher ones. I'm like,
Yeah,
this looks
apparently
fun.
it looked like those were just cosmetic only. Does that get you less or more interested?
Oh! So they don't have actually any abilities. Ooh, that might actually
I,
get me
that-
less interested.
yeah, that's what I've been told. I mean, I could check. But yeah, continue.
But then yeah, like otherwise, I'll still take it out because it's always a fun game. But yeah, I thought like from the visuals, I thought they like had these cool abilities, but those could just be like you said, like yeah, just cosmetics and effects.
Yeah, from what I see, I was reading the thing. Maybe it's not. I think it's actually new stuff. I don't think it's actually cosmetic. So you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
My
Let's go.
bad.
Yeah. Let's go. And another one that's like that kind of got leaked earlier, but still looks like fun ish. Like is the Patrick Star game. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looked way more interesting than I expected because it's effectively like a physics-based sandbox game. Which, listen, a SpongeBob game or a Patrick game in this case, with physics, that's perfect for kids. Kids are gonna eat this game up. That is a
Oh,
really smart game reveal.
100%. And like yeah, if it's like just Goat Simulator, but like now it's Patrick, then yeah, kids will love it. And yeah, and I find it interesting how like all these other SpongeBob characters like Sandy's getting a movie, Plankton's getting a movie. Now Patrick is too cool for that. He gets his own game.
I mean, he has his own show, so
Yeah, oh, that's true. Yeah,
the year of Patrick is coming up.
hell yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean that game looked a lot more interesting than I expected. But yeah, I don't know. Like this direct was interesting to me. I'm kind of right there with you, Jay. I'd give it a 7, maybe not a 7.5. I think this is one of those like directs that really is signifying near the end of like the third party support for the Switch. You're seeing a lot of games that, let's be honest, aren't graphical showcases on the extent of like when you got like Doom 2016 on Switch back in like 2017. It's the big boy ports like that. Now you're starting to get games like Patrick Star game, My Sims Cozy Bundle, Fitness Boxing 3, stuff that like yeah, there's still some cool stuff here, but you can definitely tell like this was a direct more focused on if you had something that you personally are very excited for, you were very overall satisfied with the direct, like Bench with Trails or Jat with Power Wash Simulator and Balatro. I respect that fucking grind that you mentioned those two first. I listen, I got Castlevania Dominus Collection. I have been waiting for this fucking DS games to come to modern platforms for genuinely years. So pretty much as soon as they revealed the GBA games, I was like, I want the DS games because those are like some of my favorites, and now we're finally getting them. And everything everyone's been saying is that they're spectacular. I haven't gotten a chance to pop it in yet. I'm a fraud, but they literally shadow dropped it day of, and now I'm like, well, that just throws my whole gaming schedule out of out of whack. Now I'm kind of fucked. But hey, absolutely incredible announcement. Cannot wait to jump back into those games and really re-experience them. It would honestly like new controls that pretty much everyone's been saying like yeah they actually work pretty well like as DS games on modern platforms, which these are a lot harder to port than people would think just because the whole touchscreen controls and all that. But yeah, I mean overall like you had the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 with like Capcom versus SNK, Power Stone, which I so excited to finally play. I'm excited to play Power Stone because I always get told like the next Smash game should basically play like Power Stone. It's like, well, I want to know how Power Stone plays, so like I know if I'm on this train or not. And also Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection finally getting a release date. Like you said, Jed, it's a little weird with the whole waiting between the physical and digital, but also they're apparently including a whole ass comic book for people who pre-order the physical. So I know what I'm fucking doing. I can wait a couple months. But overall, just very solid direct, a lot of cool stuff. Also, I want to shout out Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake,
Yeah.
where they showed off Monster Wrangler as a new class that was not in the original game. Boys, I'm a Monster Wrangler. The crew is gaining a Monster Wrangler. I
And
could
also,
not
like,
fucking wait.
the character customization, I guess that means like there's no one super like story important than the main character, which is fine. I mean,
Oh, yeah, that's Dragon Quest. That's Dragon
Yeah.
Quest 3. You are basically getting RPG
Here's-
classes for your side characters. They're not like actual, I guess, for lack of a better
I
word,
shouldn't ex-
characters.
like visually it looks gorgeous. I'm so excited to hop in on this game. unfortunately, I'm like taking a trip that weekend, but like when I get back, I'll be on it for sure. Do we think like, I mean, do you think it's so you're excited, right?
For what?
Dragon Quest.
Oh, yeah. Of course I am.
Should I go in expecting like I shouldn't expect like a big story, right?
No, not in a million years.
Just
It's a very
pretty
simple story.
hero's
It-
journey type thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was originally an NES game.
Mhm.
Like you're basically
Yeah.
a hero on his way to save the world from darkness. It's nothing like
Sounds
crazy.
fun.
It looks like
pretty.
from what we see, they are actually kind of expanding upon certain moments and scenes. And there's some really charming and fun moments in that game story wise, but it's not a game you walk in and like expect a Final Fantasy level narrative like type deal
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, I didn't really get that with Final Fantasy 1 and 2, but I still enjoyed those. So, and on top of like 1 and 2 getting remade, it should be a very good. And if they look as good as 3 remake does, we're in for a treat.
Yeah, 1 and 2, it's weird that they're doing those afterwards, but also because like I think a lot of people are gonna be surprised that 1 and 2 are a lot more bare bones than 3. So it's gonna feel weird to see how they remake them. Maybe they expand them even further, but cannot wait. Other than that, oh sorry, did you have something else to say, Jet?
Not about Dragon Quest. Yeah, I just had a quick thought about like the last announcement, which was honestly a bit underwhelming in that it was just like, yeah, here Yakuza Kiwami is coming to
Yep.
Switch.
I was gonna
But
mention that.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah,
Sorry, just real quick. It's just like I feel like as a one more thing to basically be a port of the first Yakuza game, and I swear to God, I had to listen. I know the Switch is not very powerful. 100%, I 100% agree with it. When I had to see people say, "Can it even run Yakuza Kiwami?" It's like, guys, it is a PS3 game. Like, I don't think you guys actually understand the power of the Switch. It's at least able to run those games, but yeah, I don't know. It's just not. I'd say like if it was the Yakuza collection or Yakuza 0, 1, and 2, get all the remakes and also add Yakuza 0 as a part of it, that would have been perfect. But it's just, hey, here's the first game. It's like, at least they're pricing it accordingly. It's $20, so I can at least respect that. But yeah, otherwise, it's kind of a lame one more thing.
yeah.
I would
But
have
it
thought
was,
at least 0 as well. Like at least
Yeah.
0 and 1.
Yeah.
yeah, Zero was like the very popular one, and I remember like reading this interview a while back about like someone asking the developers, "Hey, would you ever put Yakuza on Switch?" He's like, "We don't know." They were like, "First off, we don't know if it'll run, and also if it run, the Switch is for babies. Who's gonna play Yakuza?"
I forgot about that. Yeah, no, a lot has changed in the last 2 years. That was 2 years ago. So, I mean, hey, they got it on. I hope this at least signifies we'll probably get more Yakuza games and maybe even day and date releases on Switch 2 moving forward because I think it's a good console for a good fit for the Yakuza series. Personally, it's even if there's a lot of cutscenes that's like holding your Switch to your screen during like a 20-minute cutscene just sounds like hell to me. But I know a lot of people like that. So, hey. There was a couple more things I wanted to shout out. The Rune Factory game, not into those type of games at all, looked more interesting. I will say that, but not a franchise that necessarily gravitates toward me. I don't know if it does for y'all.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's just it looked more interesting than I thought, but like it was a pretty big trailer, so I was surprised there. And there's also a new Atelier game, which again, like if you're a JRPG fan, hey, there you go. Like this is a good direct for you. Also, Suikoden 1 and 2 finally got re-revealed after like fucking years of
Yeah,
just basically
I'm
being
excited.
dead. Cannot wait. Love classic Konami, and these are two games that I know a lot of people love. So very excited to
Yep.
jump into those. March
Same.
6th. Waiting 6 months for this thing. God damn.
I mean, yeah. Hopefully, there's nothing around it because I really want to play those games.
And that's about it. The Indie Direct did also have some good stuff. Personally, Pizza Tower is the good one for me because I wanted to be able to play that game. Problem was it was only on Steam, so to be able to actually play it on a video game console is just more interested. I'm gonna jump in on that. Jet, you seem like someone who would enjoy Pizza Tower. Have you jumped into it at all?
No, I haven't, but I've been recommended it before because yeah, it looks very much like a game I'd be into. Like it has that really cute like artistic cartoony style. It reminds me of like the old Nickelodeon shows like in that style, right? Like the I think the 90s shows that they had with like Ren and Stimpy. So yeah, yeah, I definitely want to like check that out at some point.
It's very Wario Land esque, is how it's been described to me. Which, yeah, I haven't played those games, but I know a lot of people are big fans of them. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to jump into that as soon as possible. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much everything from the direct mini and partner showcase that I wanted to talk about. Overall, pretty good show, but let's get into the conspiracy theories. All right, let's put on your thinking caps, kids, because this is a little weird that they would combine the directs, and a lot of people have been speculating it may be because this was not meant to be in September. This was meant to be in September. This was not meant to be in August. And one of the big things that kind of like coincides with that theory is the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. How they effectively revealed a new Capcom fighting collection when Marvel vs. Capcom collection isn't even out yet. And a lot of people are thinking maybe this was supposed to be in September for the reveal, but it had to be pushed back because a certain console is going to be revealed in September as well. I don't know if you guys subscribe to this theory. We'll see.
I'm sold on this theory. It's happening next month, 100%.
Oh shit! He said 100%. We're gonna look real stupid if that's not the case. Then
It's happening. Jeff Grubb was like, around the grapevine, I'm kind of hearing that some people kind of expect it, and it's like, yeah, it's got to happen. And I'm curious if it is not in March, because I think announcing it in September and it not being in the first 3 months of the year would kind of be a little weird. Maybe plans have changed. I don't like to hope so.
No, it tells me. I mean, this kind of sounds like their strategy when the Switch One, how it was revealed, because that was in October and it came out in March. I think a lot of people think that like it's too early for a reveal, but like I always say this, people keep saying that the Switch 2 is going to be revealed next year, and I always say this: why would Furukawa have mentioned that it's going to be revealed in the fiscal year? He didn't need to say fiscal year. He could have just said next year. We're going to reveal it early next year. Why did he say fiscal year? Because it kind of tells me that it's probably going to be revealed this year. That just feels too perfect.
And also a big thing for partners, because then they can start announcing games for Switch 2. And the day it's announced, we're probably going to get like 50 games announced for Switch 2.
We're already getting a lot of like kind of like people really fiending and a lot of partners really wanting to talk about it. Like the Amazon Games, I think it's just a correspondent within them basically said in an interview, it's like, yeah, of course we're making games for the Switch too. Like we are making video games for that console. It exists. Like we've known it exists, and now it's just like everyone's sitting in a waiting circle. Like, where is Nintendo? Are they gonna show it off? A lot of people were thinking it's probably gonna be after Mario and Luigi, like their last game this holiday. I don't think so, because I don't think a lot of people are like, well, they don't want to distract from their new games. It's like I don't think a new console reveal is gonna get people to go, now I don't need to buy the new Zelda game. That just doesn't correspond to me.
And I think we might see a Nintendo presence at the Game Awards this year.
Okay, now you're speaking crazy.
No, because I think they're going to take, like when the Switch was out, they got very creative and took every avenue at promoting the thing they could. And if they haven't announced a new console coming next year with some games and show up at the Game Awards would make sense. Promoted even more.
Here's the thing about Game Awards. I don't think that's the case because I feel like the person who was actually really trying to get stuff at the Game Awards was Reggie. And Reggie's not there anymore. Because if you notice, the moment Nintendo stopped doing reveals and stuff at the Game Awards was when Reggie left the company. I think he was the one that was actually pushing for stuff like that. And like now that Doug's the president, I'm not saying like he doesn't care, but he's just like he's not going to fight nearly as hard for like trying to get a reveal at the Game Awards.
Yeah, and that means Doug is not going to appear on Jimmy Fallon playing revealing the Switch with Jimmy.
No, he's going to have to. If he doesn't, he's a fraud.
How hard is it going to be to get a pre-order? Because this is something where I'd pay scalping prices. I can't wait. I got to be there.
Here's the thing. They are pretty adamant about like wanting to try to get as much stock as possible. Now, of course, everyone says that. But I don't know. I think you'll have more than enough time to get a pre-order. Because if they put up the pre-orders, let's say in January, and it comes out in like April or May, that's about 5 months. I think you have the time to be able to do it. Now, if they put the pre-orders up like a month before, then it's like, get ready to pay those scalping prices.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it's either way where, like, I mean, now retailers will have to control, like, send an email. You'll get a Best Buy email being like, all right, this is when the Switch pre-orders are going to go up. And then you might have to fight bots, or best case will be that they'll get enough stock that there aren't any chip shortages or anything
Mhm.
preventing people from getting it. Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
Do
Go
we
ahead.
get is it just the reveal trailer or do they make a direct out of it
So okay, this is
and announce games?
here's my prediction for how they do this. You're gonna get the reveal trailer, like a commercial-esque trailer, like we did with the Switch in September, and
The
then
rooftop
around
party.
yeah, we're gonna have the rooftop party, of course, the things that every millennial does apparently, and then in January, maybe February, I'm leaning towards January. You're gonna get a massive Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. I think this thing is gonna be an hour plus. I don't think they're gonna do a live show. I think they're gonna outright just do a Nintendo Direct, like branded as such, and call it the Switch 2 Direct. And it's like, here's everything. Here's like what you're gonna expect from the console, like graphics wise, power wise. Like here's the game library, the launch titles, release date, pricing, all that good stuff, third party partners. And then you get the release date. I'm gonna stick with it May on my birthday. May.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think we get their trailer next month, and I think that trailer is gonna tease a couple games that we're gonna like see, like the Switch trailer did. And I do think in January we'll have an event. But I do think, well, I don't think they have like the live show they did with the Switch. I do think there is a big media event, and the direct is like right before that, and then we get a ton of like hands-on stuff like that same day or like the next week or whatever for media. I think they have like a big event with media. And then I think April is the date, and I think it launches with exclusive on Switch 2 Mario and the new Mario Kart's like 2 months after that. And I think next year is going to be just a ton of Nintendo releases. I think they're emulating Switch 2017.
Yeah. I think it just comes down to like what we're actually going to be getting from these presentations, like how expansive they want to go. I think you're going to look at that Switch 2 first year, and it's going to be way more substantial than I think any of us are really like predicting it to be. I do genuinely think 3D Mario is a launch title. I think that's almost a guarantee. I think Mario Kart is something that happens that holiday, and then
No, I
from
think
there you're just
summer.
going to get a lot of. Say again.
I think summer. I think Mario. They don't wait for holiday for Mario Kart.
Interesting. I mean, I could see that. That's the thing. They could literally sporadically launch these anytime you want. They want.
I mean, Mario Kart was May for the Switch.
Yeah, no, it was April actually, so it's even sooner.
Okay,
than-
yeah. I just can't
This
see
is
them waiting that long. Because I think they'd want, like, they put their like big RPG kind of at the year, and I bet Monolith will have a game next holiday.
Mhm.
I think they kind of like just emulate a lot of stuff, and they have. I just can't see them waiting that long for Mario Kart because they're gonna want that like first boom of people who get the Switch, and then they're gonna want people to come back when they buy Switch 2s for holiday with Mario Kart.
I think they. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I'll agree with. I think they very much emulate the monthly strategy. You're gonna get a big
Yeah.
release every month next year, and like, here's the thing. Nintendo usually does a release every month, but like this year, you see it's stuff like Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Princess Peach Showtime. You know, not like games that don't sell, but like smaller games, not on the level. I think next year you're going to see stuff that are genuinely of the Mario Kart caliber, of the 3D Mario, you know, maybe a big
Metroid.
RPG. You're going to get a lot of stuff. I think you're going to see way more stuff Switch 2 wise than you have in the latter half of the Switch era. Yeah. What's your prediction? I want to hear you think is going to be basically the strategy for Nintendo going into this.
One more thing before
Oh,
Jack
yeah.
goes, that way he can. I do think I know I said like January is when I think we get like the Switch 2 Direct or like live show when media gets their hands on it. But I do think before that, like partners are going to be allowed to like post trailers of games running on Switch 2 dev kits. Like I think
Oh, 100%.
this year we're going to get Switch 2 version trailers of a lot of games. And that's going to be like enough to kind of like hold us over because we'll see what things will look like.
No, I 100% agree with that. I think you're going to see much more developers being willing to, like, they've been wanting to show off Switch 2
Yeah.
games, their games running on there. So
Yeah.
it just it would make sense in that regard. But
Yeah.
yeah, Jack, go ahead.
Yes. So I was thinking, yeah, similar to what you guys are saying, like, yeah, January they'll do either. Like, I could see maybe a live show again, but I do agree that I think a direct is just easier for them to just put together, and on there you'll get the big heavy hitters. You know, you'll get your Mario Kart. I'm even gonna go as far as to say that similar to how in 2017 when they first showed the Switch, they announced these like in the first year they announced these third party ports, right? Like We got the what do you call it? Doom. You got Skyrim. I think they're gonna do that again and to go and say like what relevant ports are coming, like Baldur's Gate 3. I think they want to capitalize on that.
Ooh, that's a
Cyberpunk.
big one.
Yeah, right. Like like now that they have hardware that'll be capable of it, that'll be good. And I really just want them to show how Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It's like just look at this. There's no issues on it.
Guys, we fixed it. I I almost feel like they would want to forget about Scarlet and Violet, and they're like, "Here's Legends. Here's the
Oh
new
yeah,
Legends
Legends.
game." It's,
Yeah. Oh yeah, Legends is coming. Yes,
Yeah,
I think
that would be at the big direct.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah. What? 100%. Yeah, and then yeah, the launch would probably be. I could see like a and a mid a late April, maybe early May, like sometime in that springtime is like a good spot for them to just release a Switch too, and then yeah, we're gonna get a lot of really big titles. But here's also another theory which I'm not gonna be happy with. They tested the waters with this for Tears of the Kingdom. I think like I feel like this that kind of confirms that all AAA games that are gonna be on Switch 2, they're all gonna be $70.
ooh, they're gonna go full next gen with that. Ah,
Yeah.
man. I feel like Tears of the Kingdom was such an experiment, though. Like it was just a thought of like, okay, can we still sell these games and like for $70? And here's the thing, it worked out for launch, but you look at like Tears of the Kingdom post launch, it sold less than Breath of the Wild the last quarter, and that kind of tells me that at least for the common consumer, like the person just walking into Best Buy wanting to buy a game for their Switch, they look very closely at those price tags, and I think Nintendo, they have a lot of people that look at that market data and they go, okay, it's clear that people are maybe less in, like they'll buy the game at launch if they want to buy the game at launch. Like we're gonna get the launch sales, but we're not gonna be getting as long of tails with our games if we keep them at $70. So that's why I think like that $70 price tag is only gonna come in effect for like very specific things. Like 3D Mario, I see that being $70, but I don't think you're gonna see like something on the scale of like what's a
Metroid?
$60? Yeah, Metroid Prime 4. That's gonna be 60 probably. Or I don't know, other games of that.
Mario Kart. Yeah.
The Monolith game, that's probably gonna be 60. Like you're gonna only get like the stuff that they know they're gonna be able to sell for a long time, like a Mario Kart, like a 3D Mario. Uh, let me ask you guys this: big third party ports. You kind of said one right there, Cyberpunk and Baldur's Gate 3, which are massive. I think the one they're really going to want to show off and one that's actually going to get a lot of buzz is probably Elden Ring. That's a game that runs on PS4.
Oh yeah.
That's a game that like probably could be ported. They already got Dark Souls remastered on Switch. Elden Ring just feels like a perfect like, hey, this is how strong the Switch 2 can is. It can run a game that's like as big as Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I agree, and I think we also see 3 Reload and Metaphor. I think both of those are launch titles. Maybe
3 Reload is like a guarantee, I feel, because like there was some weirdness around the way that Persona 3 Reload was kind of like marketed around the Switch. So I think that's without question going to be a Switch 2 thing.
I think Reload's at least day one, and I could see Metaphor being like in the first month or two. So, and then
It's
I
going to be
think,
exciting. Yeah.
what do you think, like back compat wise? I think it's fully backwards compatible, and that's kind of been soft confirmed. But I do think we see like Tears of the Kingdom gets an update. I think hopefully I need an excuse to replay that game.
You will get. Here's my prediction. You will get like upgraded versions. The games will run better on Switch 2. I don't necessarily think there will be like new SKUs.
I don't think there's. I think Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know about Breath of the Wild. I think they make Tears of the Kingdom run at like what you would expect like next gen hardware to run. Like I think it could be 4K.
I don't know about 4K. I think 60 FPS. I will say.
Do they bring Master Mode to Tears of the Kingdom? I need it.
Oh, it's not in. I just realized
No.
that's not in it. Yeah, because they just didn't have DLC. That's funny.
Give me a free update with Master Mode.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think if they do a new SKU, I could imagine they do like a free update with Master Mode and whatnot. That seems right. Because it's weird because that was in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. And I think 7 Remake comes to Switch.
Oh, no, that would be a good title.
I think that's like Square showing their support because Square's also like always on Switch. but I think 7 Remake makes its way to Switch pretty quickly. Wouldn't shock me if it's already running.
Yeah, 7 Remake actually makes a lot of sense. We will see. We talked a lot about Switch 2. Because here's the thing. If you get us three together, we're going to talk about Switch 2. That's just a guarantee.
Oh, obviously.
Before we hop up... Oh, sorry, Jed. Did you have something else to say?
Oh. Yeah, so I think like either way, like whatever, the lineup ends up being, I'm just excited to see what like crazy ambitions like Nintendo has, because they're always like, like they've always just got that factor to them where it's like, yeah, it's Nintendo, you already know you're gonna be in for a good time. They're gonna have that one like game of the year game, which is hopefully a new Mario, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they always got something up their sleeve, especially gimmick wise. I mean, Switch 2, who knows what they're gonna like have like around that thing outside of just being a stronger Switch. Real quick before we hop off the topic of Nintendo, our boy Dark, co-host of the show, he wanted to write in some thoughts because he was unable to make it. He was very saddened. Real quick, he wanted to talk about Trails remake. People who like Trails are ugly and stupid. Jesus Christ,
Wow.
Bench, you gonna take that?
Dark sucks.
In reality, he said, I was surprised the Trails remake was shown here. I would have expected TGS. That being said, the game looks great for people who want to get into the series. This being said, if it is true that this game, for whatever reason, is a Switch exclusive, this is a massive step backwards and defeats the entire purpose of the remakes. The remakes were created because the first 3 titles aren't accessible outside of PC, so by locking this to a single console, you'll just be repeating the same mistake, IMO. And it is confirmed that it's Switch exclusive, as the director even outright said, it's like, oh yeah, we'll think about bringing it to platforms like PS4 and PC.
Determined. Which I don't think it's like confirmed that it's Switch exclusive. But I think it's like that's kind of the version they're focusing on for now. But it's like if maybe they get like a porting partner, because I don't know, it's just weird like vibes about this remake, and it's not like the remake's going to be bad. It's just like the way Falcom's kind of like saying stuff. So hopefully it comes to PS5.
And then he also said for the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, Marvel vs. Capcom is back, and we don't have to wait long whatsoever. This and Sparking Zero fighting game fans are fucking feasting. And also we had the fighting game collection too. So yeah, God bless. Dark is very excited for those Marvel vs. Capcom fighting collection, which I think that comes out in 2 weeks because that's September 12th.
Yep, day before my birthday. Let's go.
There you go. Early birthday gift. Moving on from Nintendo, God bless Nintendo. PlayStation was in the news today, or not today, this week. The PS5 Pro got leaked, or at least a drawing of it. Billy Bilkun, who is a very notorious leaker across the PlayStation sphere. He kind of gets in the back ends and whatnot. The wait is over. It took me some time to finish the drawing. Here's the final design of the PS5 Pro with many other details, including announcement window, all digital, included controller. And then it linked to his website, which I'm going to pull up now. And we see the PS5 Pro, which effectively he couldn't take a picture of it. He drew what it looked like. And guys, looks like a PS5.
With a line in there.
With a couple of lines. And hey, listen, it looks like pretty much what I expected. I do kind of wish it was a double stacked PS5 like they did with the PS4 Pro, just because imagine the monstrosity in your entertainment center just sitting there. But yeah, it's pretty much what we expected. Hey guys, shocker, PS5 Pro is real. This is like the worst kept secret in the industry. But it seems almost confirmed. And we also got a Jeff Grubb rumor that Noble posted. Jeff Grubb heard that the PS5 Pro is still planned for 2024 and that a PlayStation State of Play, not a showcase, is scheduled for the end of September. We'll get into that State of Play in a second. But it seems to be PS5 Pro, 100% real. Probably going to get revealed in September, like early September around then, before TGS at the very least. What do we think about this thing?
I mean, like, it could improve frames by 1, and I'd probably still buy it, so.
And you are too easy to sell stuff. I could tell
like
you.
New tech.
I could tell you. You got the OLED?
The Switch OLED, yeah. I don't play handheld mode.
It's just like, man, I just like looking at it.
Yeah, I do, because it looks very premium.
It does look very premium. I kind of wish my Switch looked as nice as that. But yeah, I don't know. I can't get excited for the PS5 Pro because I just don't really know what it's gonna do for me that I don't already have with my PS5. I haven't really had any problems like substantially with performance on my PS5. I've been pretty happy with how my games run. Like, yeah, sure, I get frame rate drops on certain games, but I kind of just blame the game more so than my console. I have noticed my PS5 is starting to like have some weird launch issue PS5 things. Like, sometimes I try to turn it off and it just doesn't turn off, and I have to
Yeah.
unplug the AC adapter. I don't know if I'm alone there. If
I
anyone
know
else-
I have the same issues.
and
Which
it's
is
just
also
like I can't turn this thing off. What the fuck?
which is also kind of like why I'm kind of like I'm going to sell this one. So it's like I don't think my PS5 will like die at like in a while, but it's like if I just sell one and get a new one, it's like that's just not really an issue.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can understand if you're gonna sell your PS5 and get a brand new PS5 Pro, all thing like you don't have to worry about it like breaking on you later on. No,
Well,
I
that's the
understand
problem.
wanting to buy it for that. Here's the thing, I'll just fully outright say it. Like if this PS5 Pro, if GTA 6 is confirmed to run at 60 FPS with a Pro, then I'll buy it. I don't even think that's gonna be the case. But hey, I'm an easy guy. I'm an easy mark.
What
All right,
about-
tell me
What
that.
about Ghost 2 and Death Stranding 2 at 60?
They're probably gonna be 60 on regular PS5.
Well, I mean, Fusion brought up a good point. What if, since the Pro is out there, they stop like 100% like getting everything 60?
But why would they stop that? That's my thing.
If the games are
Every
getting
PS
more complex with like Ghost 2 and Death Stranding 2, and they say, hey, we could probably spend an extra 6 to 8 months like nailing 60 FPS on this, or we can spend a lot less time and get a very solid 30 or 40, and then it's 60 on the Pro. And nail like it doesn't take as long. That's a possibility.
Listen, if that happens, I don't think I would be bothered enough to still. I
Okay.
still don't think I would get a Pro. A GTA 6 is probably the only. Because like, here's the thing: I fully trust like the PlayStation first parties are probably going to have good 30 FPS modes. I just don't know
Yeah.
about my boys over at Rockstar.
Yeah.
But yeah, PS5 Pro. Jet, you still don't own a PS5. Does a Pro get you more interested, or you're like, nah?
Yeah, so I want to see it before like before I think about it, because I do like the idea of just having another like a more powerful system. But at the same time, I know for a fact that that price tag is gonna be so high.
I mean, we'll talk about that right now. Like, what are we thinking? I'm feeling $600 minimum. I can't imagine this thing being cheaper than that.
Yeah, because there's no way they're dropping the PS5 price, right? Like the base price. Those are selling as
that price went up in
Yeah.
Japan. Like, you're gonna cost $100 more in Japan for some reason. Which I know there's a lot of market conditions regarding the Japanese yen, but still really silly. But yeah, cannot wait. I can wait. I don't care. Bench cannot wait. So there you go. But also, let's talk about this rumor about a state of play at the end of September. Bench, what was that you said about Showcase, huh? You were
I think
saying this.
they're lying. The people are lying.
Who's lying?
Just-
You
just
cited
surpri-
Jeff Grubb earlier. Now you're gonna say he lied?
He knows it gets us excited to have surprises, and he's getting us ready for a surprise showcase.
Jet, tell him he's wrong.
I mean, like we just gotta wait and see. But like, it's probably gonna be a
A
state of play.
showcase.
Why? Okay, Bench. Why would they do the
Me
showcase
and
now?
Jap finish each other's sentences.
No,
We both
no.
said
Literally,
showcase.
Jet said state of play.
No, he didn't.
God damn, this is disgusting. Listen, I want it to be a showcase. It's going to be a state of play. If Jeff Grubb says it's a state of play, and I think a lot of people have been, there has been no rumors about a showcase. It kind of tells me that the showcase is not happening until
They're all hiding them to keep us surprised on our toes.
Well, okay. Let me ask you this, Bench. Why would it be a bad thing if it's a state of play instead of a showcase? At least for now, and like they wait for the showcase.
I
for,
just
next
want
year.
a gathering of the studios.
It's just the last time they did a showcase didn't work out as well. I want to believe this next showcase is a banger. It's just I don't think this thing is real yet.
I need Ghost 2.
I will say, PlayStation fans, they have been going crazy.
No, that's Fusion. He's a wimp.
No, legitimately crazy because like there was like actually Fusion's a good example because he was the one who sent me this. They were like, Sony has changed the wording of state of play on their website. Oh, could this signify something? And that's literally the first reply was, no, they didn't. This has been the same. It's been the same for years. So that just tells you it's like PlayStation fans are like really feeding for some announcements at this point.
No, I'm happy with my games this year. I just like big showcases because they get me hyped. Fusion's the one who's losing faith in the PlayStation brand, and he's like not even a true pony anymore.
I mean, for me, I don't care. I'll play games wherever. I don't need shit. Like, I want to showcase. I like seeing new games get revealed and shit, but I can wait. Like, I'm at the point now as I got enough to play.
Yeah, I have plenty to play. It's just like I like those hype moments, you know. And it's like Fusion's like, I don't know, maybe Sony's going downhill and he's spiraling. He needs to have faith.
Did he say that?
Like 6 months ago. Whenever like 6 months ago he was spiraling.
I'm gonna ask him right now. Anyways, yeah. God bless you, PlayStation 5 Pro. Cannot wait for you to be revealed. Moving into our next story. This one's stupid.
It's so stupid. It consumed our Discord and it made me want to die.
Paul Tassi brings up, a source with knowledge of the situation has told me that Black Myth Wukong is currently not on Xbox because of an exclusivity deal and is not delayed because of any sort of technical issue. From the start, the statements from Game Science and Microsoft conflicted with each other, with Game Science citing optimization while Microsoft cited, quote, deals with other platform holders. Jez Corden said he also heard things about this, but then Jeff Grubb and Exceptional Nick both said they have not heard anything about an exclusivity deal. And here's the thing. I think you're fucking stupid if you actually believe it's an exclusivity deal, because why the fuck would PlayStation not say anything about it being exclusive? And every fucking PlayStation game, every single one, they want you to fucking know it's only on PlayStation. Black Myth Wukong, I don't even know if there's a trailer on the YouTube channel at this point. There probably is, but it's just, they do not cite it as an only on PlayStation game. So why would you buy exclusivity just to say, yeah, fuck you, Xbox? They do not do that. They just don't.
Guess what? And guess what? Even smaller. Why does it fucking matter? Like, what's this? Why are we, like, going in circles about this? It's like, it's on PlayStation, play it there, play it on PC, and it'll eventually probably come to Xbox. Who cares? Why is this such a big topic of conversation that we have to spend hours discussing and getting angry over? Just, like, play the game or don't play the game. Come on.
Yeah, and one thing that like that Sony does really well, which like if this was an exclusive deal, because when I got Hogwarts Legacy last year, I played on Steam Deck. I told my friend, I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy on Steam, and they told me, I thought that was a PlayStation only game, because every promotion has that game with the PS logo. They literally gaslight people into thinking that non-exclusive games are exclusive. So obviously you'd see Black Myth with the PS logo everywhere if that was the case. But yeah, I agree with that. It's such a non-issue that's becoming a big issue.
It feels a lot like, I guess for lack of a better word, just a lot of tribalism within these communities. I get it. Listen, guys, it is so frustrating as an Xbox fan seeing games keep skipping Xbox. But we don't have to make up reasons. We don't have to make up reasons. And here's the thing. I don't think Paul's actually making up reasons. I think, according to his source, yeah, sure, maybe like there was some exclusivity. From what I've been like trying to figure this out, there is a possibility what happened was they were trying to get the game optimized. It wasn't working on Xbox, so they went to Sony. Sony was like, they effectively gave them money to help out with the development. And maybe that could have been misconstrued as like an exclusivity deal. I really don't believe this is an exclusivity deal at all. I think all this is, hey, you need some help like making this game. We'll give you some money to help optimize the game on PlayStation 5 and get it running. Because this is clearly a PC-only game initially. But yeah, I don't know. This is dumb. Moving into... That's it, actually. That's all our news. What we've been playing is our very last thing. I think we already talked about everything. There's just Black Myth Wukong from you, Bench.
Yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying Wukong. It's definitely, I'm still in chapter 3, which has been surprisingly, like, long and very, like, explorative chapter. It's definitely, like, performance is still not great, but I'm, like, enjoying it the more I play. The boss fight and boss designs are fantastic, and it's like, the more I play it, the more I enjoy it, and it's one of the best things I've played this year. And I think, Wolf, you're really gonna like this game.
I know. I'm waiting till Astrobot.
Yeah.
I know I'll like it. I want to wait until I get Astrobot in my
Yeah,
system and feel happiness.
yeah,
But yeah, no,
definitely. It's good.
Dark talked to me a lot about Black Myth Wukong, and he DM'd basically, unless Metaphor is a masterpiece, this game is locked for my goatee. Unreal Engine 5 is incredible, and a Souls adjacent Chinese mythology game about a monkey who bonks motherfuckers with a stick is right up my alley. You want to talk about a selling, like a great first sentence? That's it. He kind of nailed it. I Is this a goatee contender for I guess not even just you, but like the
For
wider
me,
space of
okay, I'll answer both. For the wider space, I'm not exactly sure because I see a lot of critics like not 100% like loving it, and it's like I think it depends on a couple things. Because I mean, like if you look at the broader picture, there's not a whole lot kind of like that you'd consider goatee. There's Rebirth, Metaphor could be there. There's a couple others like Outlaws was going to be one, but obviously not anymore. Sorry, Bob. But so there's not like a whole lot big picture, and I think that could maybe squeeze it in. But if there's a couple other things, like I think this is like not 100% goatee for like critics. For me, I'm not sure. I think it'll be in my top 5 probably, but it'd probably be like number 5 because there's just so many other games that I like enjoy more, like games made in the Japanese region.
this is a Chinese. Okay, well, I guess you got me there.
Uh,
Bro's a little weebish. Yeah, we gotta do something about him.
All right. So yeah, because I got that what do you call because I got the Ubisoft Plus subscription and didn't like Outlaws. That's great. Ubisoft had a game that was actually good that came out this year that I'm finally getting to. Prince of Persia: Lost Crowd, and I fuck with it.
Hell
It
yeah,
is
you do.
it is like way more fast paced. Oh, the combat feels satisfying. Those finishers, yeah, I'm just enjoying it. And look, I mean, for those who you enjoy Metroidvanias, you want to explore, that's fine. I like that it respects me. Where like I can play it with having like the guide marker on, so I know where to go. And like that's how I want to play it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's just like also the art style. I don't know. I just find it really cool, and yeah, I'm just working through that. I'm thinking I'll be playing that and also the Black Ops 6 beta this weekend.
Oh, dude. I am so tempted to jump in on that, but I'm like, it's Game Pass, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I don't have Game Pass right now, so it's like tough for me to. I don't know. Can I just pre-order it? I don't want to
yeah. Oh
pre-order
yeah,
Black
yeah.
Ops 6. Actually, now that I think about it more. I think it's open beta next week, so I don't know. Maybe I'll like hop in and do a couple games when it's that goes on. That's Astrobot time, it's kind of hard to like really set aside time.
Oh yeah, and Ace Attorney's coming out. The collection is coming
Oh,
out soon.
dude, I forgot. Dude, so much shit to play, man.
Yeah, too many
Real quick,
games. Yeah.
almost forgot this thing. But Dark also said for Black Myth Wukong, I feel like you, especially Wolf, will share a lot of my thoughts on the game when you finally get a chance to play it. You guys just love talking about me. I feel flattered because everyone's like, "Oh, Wolf, you'll love this game." It's like, okay, damn, I get it. I'm gonna buy it. But yeah,
Yeah, with
that's it.
Black Myth.
Oh, go for it. Jen.
No, I was just saying really quick with the Black Myth. I'm like, either it comes to Xbox or like because I don't like the game looks graphically intense that I don't want to run it on the Steam Deck. But like, so yeah, either if it comes to Xbox, I'll play on there. Otherwise, I'll shell out for a PS5 Pro. Let's do it.
That's it for our show today, though, folks. We had a good one. Jet, listen, I get it. You were on the run from the cops. You gotta get going, man. They're gonna catch you. Thank you so much for coming by, though. Thank you also to Bench for joining me as well. We had a very fun topic-filled discussion, a lot of yapping about the Switch, which is the usual with this trio. But if you guys enjoyed us, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everything podcasts, follow us on Twitter at Slice and Gaming. Like the podcast. Any type of support helps us out a lot. And with that, have a good night. Say goodbye, everybody.
Good night.
All right, good. Goodbye.
Play Trails in the Sky remake so they remake the trilogy. Thank you.